And we are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation live show. This is your host, Coach Francis Clay from warm weather, comparatively to my buddy co-host, Michael DeVillano, is between somewhere in Texas in the snow and the cold water, and he's freezing right now.
It's crazy here. There's like so much snow and they have no snow plows.
I know. I live 6-7 years in Texas and barely. I think I saw one time like a snowflake and but not like what is going on around there. It's like
I think there's
everywhere.
Like 5-6 inches. Like there's a lot.
It's everywhere. Oklahoma, everything like that. So USA is under like a snowstorm and it's very cold everywhere in North Minnesota. One thing happening for me this weekend, Michael, is like I cannot remember the last time during the President weekend I'm home. Like for the last 10, 12, 15 years, I'm doing a hockey tournament somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually I'm in the north. Like it's usually, I did a couple of years in Arizona. They have a great hockey President weekend in Arizona. But usually I'm in Minnesota, Boston, Detroit, Michigan, whatever it is. And this year I'm not nowhere. And I think it's a blessing because everywhere it's minus 20, 30 and snow everywhere. So I can wait for many people. I think some people they have no chance to come back home today.
Yeah, I mean, even here, this whole city, there's like a lot of people without power. They're rotating power. I saw people, they have no clue. Like I saw people in pickup trucks that are getting stuck in the snow because there's no snow plows.
That's another thing too. Like a lot of people that have no clue about driving in the snow.
No idea.
I don't know, remember that one over there, but I was working in the East Coast Hockey League. I got invited to go to NHL All-Star game in Carolina and Raleigh. And it was the All-Star game NHL. And that weekend, it was a storm, a snowstorm. And it was about 3-4 inches. He took about 5 days before the town came back normal. Like the people have no clue what to do with snow, anything like that. You know, when I snowballed, it was crazy to be honest with you. So I could not go out.
No idea.
So I can understand you in Texas also the problem you have. But today we have a big day, a lot of news around the league, a lot of hockey last weekend. And of course, yesterday was a quiet day, but because today, and if you live in USA, it's the President Day. It's holidays for most of people. And they have a 10 game on the program today. It's another big day, 20 team in action. We have a lot of team coming back for the COVID-19. Now they are back to play. That's great news because I just did my power ranking for, you can go on the YouTube channel to see that. We have 5 teams, Michael, did not play last week.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? It's very difficult to do a power ranking where they don't play. So I do my best about that. If you can go there, you can find also that my team number 1 is a surprise. There's difference. So it's pretty good to see this. I think it will be, don't forget to leave your comments under the video if you are agree or disagree. And what it would be your power ranking with all that. So it's something we do every Monday. I do. And Tuesday I do my Club 5. And then, but again, big day yesterday in hockey. I just go from Sunday. You have 2 games, one at 3 o'clock, one at 7 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, another loss for the Washington Capitals. Their 4th straight after they start with 9 games, no loss, 6-0-3. Now they lost their last 4. I know the COVID-19 is a situation for them, right? They miss a couple of players, then you have got a couple injury, also like Eller, Schultz, and but everybody was back yesterday during this game.
That's what's crazy. Like they were doing better when the guys were away. So I don't know.
Well, I think we can start to see the fatigue of Vanecek and as a goaltender. They started missing Samsonov. He was sent to a AHL team yesterday, Michael, on coaching, physical coaching, something like that. And they will be back in the next couple of days. But I think they can wait to see him back. I think that it's great what Vanecek said during those times, but I think now you can see the little bit fatigue he has. He cannot carry on the load all the way. They bring back Anderson. Copley was on the Texas squad, everything like that. But I think at some point they're missing Samsonov more than anything else. We know Oshie did not play. They come back yesterday. Vrana was back yesterday. Kostenov was back to score his second goal of the year. But again, now I think that team will be a little bit different the next couple of the games, and I think they will be back normal. But very and the score yesterday 6-3 don't show exactly the game because it was only 4-3. The Pittsburgh scored 2 empty goals at the end of the game. Ashton Reese and then also Crosby. So you don't say like 6-3 is like, oh, Washington was not there. He was there. It was only 4-3 at the beginning of the third period, honestly. But at the end of the day, Pittsburgh won the second game of the week. They find a way to back-to-back win now. They beat the New York Islanders now, Washington. And they are back in the race. So very great to see them. And then their defenseman came back also. Madison back yesterday, got 2 assists. Patterson skating right now. So that's good news for them. Letang doing well for them. Good game for Brian Ross yesterday. 2 goals, 1 assist. And Jake Guanzel got 1 goal, 2 assists from them. And Jerry have maybe one of the best performances on the year so far. He was yesterday. Glad to see him back a little bit because he struggles in the beginning of the year. And this Smith is out right now for the last 2 games with an injury. So he's skating today, this morning. So it'll be great to see him around the team because he won the last 2 games as a goaltender for them.
Yeah,
so,
he played decent. I mean, he's a decent goalie. This is a guy that spent most of the year in the AHL. They moved Matt Murray because they're pretty confident the year before he played in the NHL and played well. So,
yeah. And again, yesterday, is not a bottom 6, but you see the goal from Denev. Second goal with Ashton Reese back-to-back after an injury. So it's good for us to see him. And it's good to see the older players, not only Crosby and Malkin score for the team. You have other players. But again, that's the second game under Extall and Burke, and they won both games. So that's pretty good for them that they can feel good about this and see what could happen. But overall, one team is looking great, and then Washington's is look around to find a way to stop that straight of 4 loss for sure. And we'll see what's happening. Like Ovechkin played 25 minutes yesterday, I believe.
-2, 1 assist, 25-46.
It's a lot of minutes
right there. Lots of power play time.
Yeah, it's a lot there. But, every time you have power play, Michael, he played a 2 minute.
He's not skating. He's just standing there waiting for a shot.
Yeah. So John Carlson got 27 minutes for Pittsburgh. It was pretty good. Like I said, Ross and Guanzel have a good game yesterday for them. And Jerry. So good game over there. It's
important for them that Brian Russ get going. Sydney's got his 5th goal, so that's helpful. 13 points in 13 games for Russ now.
Yeah.
So he's back to what you would expect.
Yep. A good year over there for sure. DeBrus struggled. Boston, I think. You just passed the name right now. Zucker. Not have a good year
Jason
so far
Zucker.
with Pittsburgh. Yeah, he struggled a little bit for them also. So good game over there. And we have to go with, Michael, when I said to you a score 1-0, the first word come to your mind is boring.
But this wasn't.
It was not last night between Colorado and Vegas. It was amazing. Great performance. The Fleury is unbelievable. Gruber looked great also. It was the first game for Colorado since I think the last game was 13 days ago. So it was great to see them on the ice, but unfortunately they're missing Makar, Lestengog, just out of the lineup, COVID-19. That did not help their situation, to be honest with you. But again, I thought it was going to be worse at what I saw yesterday. Vegas, they have their full hands with their attacks from Colorado back-to-back all the time, all night. Without Fleury, Vegas lost this game. On the flip side, Vegas played a solid game also. So it was really excited, back and forth, back and forth. Usually 1-0, you don't have a lot of opportunity. We said maybe a couples, but not last night. They have a lot of chance to score, just they cannot find a way to put the puck in the net on both teams. So you have to wait until Matt's specialty score is 7th of the year to make a difference for the game, and that's it. They have only 1 goal yesterday, and they find a way, Vegas, to win their second game of the weekend after the loss of 1-0 against Anaheim Ducks Thursday night. And Fleury, I'll be honest with you right now. You remember, like, we can talk about Patrick Kane, we can talk about Dressel, McDavid. but the way Vegas play right now, Fleury play is unbelievable. He have like, I think a 711, 1.48, a GAA. He is really a top MVP player right now since the beginning of the year. We did not expect this from him, to be honest with you. The discussion about him to get traded for many months after the during the off season was there, and Leonard is on the injury list for the last two games. And I think now they have a controversy or a controversy goaltender over there, because I don't know who's going to be goaltender number one in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I think we lost my co-host Michael Devanano disappeared behind the door over there. We expect this because the cold and Texas make their internet difficult. Honestly, Michael, he's on the trip,
There
and
we
it's
go.
not easy. So he's back in the house today right now.
It's crazy.
Michael, I want to mention today, and I really apologize to you because I forgot to tell you this at the beginning today, and this is my fault. We have
What
a
happened?
special guest tomorrow.
Who's that?
We have from the NHL Florida Panthers, the broadcaster Greg Minervini is going to join us tomorrow for the first 30
great.
minutes of the show.
Wonderful. Wow. What an honor. That's amazing.
Yes, he's going to. Greg works with the Panthers for many years. He's a really and industry of sport for over 30 years. He worked with the Florida Marlins. He's the guy open up the show every game, the pregame show and the intermission show. He talk with talk about the game, everything like that. Like usually with Ed Genoveski. He worked many years with Denis Potvin, everything like that. So glad to have him tomorrow. He's one of my buddy, and
Cool.
he accept to join us tomorrow. So hopefully you will be willing to be here.
Yeah,
tomorrow
we'll have to. We need to invite more people. We know so many. We should make sure we start.
That's great to have him. See,
That's
we're
a great
going to talk about the game because Tampa Bay play Florida tonight, but he's going to talk also about Sventing and how he create his career, everything like that. So I think it would be great to have him tomorrow, the first 30 minutes. So everybody wants to talk to him and have a question or everything like that. Anthony, you're a big fan. So hopefully we didn't see you the last couple of days, but hopefully we'll be here tomorrow to talk with Greg. Be accessible to talk to him. So I forgot to mention this to you earlier, Michael.
Yeah, send me I don't know how to spell his name, but that would be awesome. Just send it to me, and I'll make sure we try to let people know ahead of time.
We have a couple of news before we jump. Do you have any comments before we shut down the Vegas game? I'm sorry I changed the subject. But
no, I think most of the stuff is going to happen tonight. Like, it seems like an incredibly busy day, and the one thing that we will try talk about is the Dzingel trade back to the Senators. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so they are my notes for the talking about something happening during the weekend. Honestly, before we jump, I just want to mention they have a 10-game Saturday, and we're not going to go through them, but I just have a lot of surprise Saturday night during the day where Ottawa beat Winnipeg, Montreal beat Toronto. I know New York Islanders beat Boston. Calgary lost the last game again. Canucks, Vancouver Canucks, and finally Detroit beat Nashville. That's not a big surprise, but still, and Chicago won also. Again, Columbus, if I can call it. I remember. So a lot of surprise. So the 10-game, 5-6 game was like the underdog won the game Saturday. So it's good to see that, that made the team, the league a bit more balanced and everything like that. So it was great to see those teams. Usually, like Ottawa, Detroit don't win a lot of games, and they won last weekend. So it's good for them to get that W, to be honest with you. Couple of news. Let's start with that trade, Michael. What do you think about the trade between the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes? That's Kalchuk and Cedric Paquette change again the team, and the last couple of Monday, that's for Paquette is the third team now from Tampa Bay to Ottawa to Carolina, and Kalchuk is he's on the tour, an NHL tour. We can call it. I think he's the ninth team in NHL. He collect all the jersey where he play. He changed the number 18, 27. And but at the end of the day, Ottawa came back. Is it Denzel Denzel.
Yeah, Ryan Dzingel, or I don't know how you pronounce it. But I
Yeah,
mean, Ryan, he had some really successful years in Ottawa. He was like a 27 goal scorer multiple times. We saw he was one of the players that went to Columbus in a deadline deal. He's not really going to get a lot of ice time in Carolina. There's just too much depth ahead of him. I think he can help Ottawa. He's shown in the past he's been effective there. So I think it's a good move for them. Galchenyuk should just pack his bag and go to the KHL. It's time, it's over. Wherever Nail Yakupov is playing, he should go play with him. And then, I don't know, Paquette's a useful player. I think he'll actually be a good player for Carolina in a different role. Probably
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about Pocket. I think he can find the same role he played for Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
Right? All three are UFA. And I think maybe, Michael, one of the three or maybe two out of three could be traded again before the deadline.
Well, I mean, nobody should bother trading for Galchenyuk. They should just ride that out and stick him
No,
in
but
the AHL.
maybe
But I think I could see Paquette would be with Carolina during the playoffs. The Zingle maybe, but maybe
I think he can be
sleep.
traded, Michael. I would tell you one reason. First, Ottawa's not going nowhere. Second, is UFA. Thirdly, he can help a team, and Ottawa can get a trade, like maybe a third, 4th-round draft pick. So I believe maybe I subject that one over there.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. And unfortunately, put out Galchenyuk. I think the two other players did not do well with the team they were before. So I think it's just like a new challenge for them, a new thing. Now, all three are on a quarantine right now, 14 days of COVID list on the COVID list. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I think that's what's happening right now. And it's not about salary cap. They don't drop this because salary cap or less money. It's almost the same. You have no trade about that money situation. But again, that's another trade. And then Carolina trade also to Columbus Blue Jacket, Gabriel Carlson, again, a 7th-round pick, I believe, a couple hours after that, minor one. Larson, the one, is again on the COVID-19 situation also, but he played on the EHL most of the time. So it's a minor trade, but I just want to mention to you. But we have a lot of news today. Let's start with a couple of things. First of all, Stamkos is out of the COVID-19 protocol list, so you expect him. Now, one thing I want to mention to you, Michael, when the player is on the protocol list, COVID-19, the rule is not about 14 days anymore, right? You can be there for 1 day or 2 days and you come back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's a new things in NHL. So you can see sometimes like Anthony Duclair, Thursday, missed the game for COVID-19. He was back Saturday night for Florida. It's happened, a couple of things. So Stamkos is the one. Ramus Dahlin was missing for the Buffalo Sabres situation. He's back now on the lineup, should be back to play. Welcome back to Big Joe tonight, Michael. He's back with the Toronto Maple Leafs after missing, 3 weeks maybe?
Yeah, so that'll be good for them. I thought he was playing well, but I honestly think that style they play is too fast for him. Like, he was playing way above his normal pace, and I think it's likely that he struggles with that. I don't know how that's going to work out because I would imagine a player that age and that pace, that's why he's got the injury issue. But I'm speculating a little bit.
Talking about Buffalo, McCabe, Montour, and is it Ryder?
Kobe Reader, yeah.
Yeah, so they are out of the COVID-19 protocol list today. So 4 of this, they are out. So that's good news for them for sure. Just want to mention to you, Montreal Canadian sent Michael Frolik on AHL for condition. What you said earlier? Physical condition?
Oh, yeah, like a conditioning stint?
The reason why Montreal have a 1 week off, Michael.
Intentionally?
No, that's happening like that. Everybody have a 1 week off during the season. Then it's early. So you have two kind of like off. You have a 4 days off, like Saturday to Thursday after the game Saturday, and then you have also 1 week during the season completely off. So Saturday to Saturday.
It'd be interesting to see if they go off for a week and then they have to go into quarantine.
So we'll see what happened with them, but that's the news. Pierre-Luc Dubois missed a couple of games with Winnipeg because the quarantine situation, came back 1 or 2 game. He left the game. Now he's on the injury list. He's supposed to be out for the game today. That's the news over there. Questionable Michael Backlund for the Calgary Flame is a game decision day tonight, so we'll see who he's going to play. Simek is out for he's put on the injury list. Honestly, remember Zemek got 5,000 fee for crash checking in the back. Talking about crash checking in the back, Jonathan, no. Jonas Larson for Arizona.
Johan Larson, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Got a 2-game suspension on the weekend. Hit the head of a Sanford for St. Louis Blues. By the way, today, Michael, we're going to talk about this, but St. Louis play against Arizona. That's the 7th time of the year. They will still have only one more game to play again. So they hope to play against someone else this week. like that's crazy.
Hey, what we didn't talk about was the Senators' win on Saturday.
Yeah, so I spoke about this earlier.
Did you?
They beat the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
It's happened. If you think about that, the 3 team or the 4 team in the division, North Division, are in the playoff right now. Last 1 game against Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg.
Wow,
that's crazy, right? I want to talk to you a subject because you're going to jump on it. I know. I don't know if you know the news about the Toronto Marlboros team.
No, the Marlies? No.
The Toronto Marlboros youth hockey organization got
the
bought.
GTHL.
They got bought this weekend by John Tavares and Sam Gagner.
Wow. How?
And one thing to talk about, Elliot Friedman, and I do not know, Sam Gagner is really have a great reputation to helping and make a difference for the youth travel team.
Oh, yeah. So both of them played for the Marlies. John Tavares is a 1990 birth year, but he played up with the 1989s. They had Akeem Alou on that team. They had Justin Vibe on that team. Brian Cameron was a very good OHL player that came off that team. The one player, the defenseman, he ended up becoming a doctor at like a U.S., I think McMaster. He was a really smart player. I'm blanking on his name. But so they had a very good relationship. His dad, Dave Gagner, builds rinks. He builds those outdoor rinks, like in your backyard. And he's a really good skills coach. So it's interesting. That is a gold mine in the sense that everybody wants to play for the Marlies in the GTHL. And they, everyone from Connor McDavid. I mean, that one team, Connor McDavid, Sam.
They have a lot of players.
It's crazy.
Make that organization go to NHL, right?
Absolutely.
So my question to you, because you are from, first of all, you're from Ontario. Secondly, you can talk about hockey there for the GTHL and what was the name before MHL?
Oh, maybe a long time ago, but it's been the Greater Toronto Hockey League for a long time.
So for people in Canada also, and maybe some in the USA like me right now, I just want to understand how, because it's rare in Canada, you heard like people owns an organization. Like, you know what I mean? Like usually it may be a little bit more AAA program, but
well, it's a very fine line because of the GTHL rules.
Okay.
So like Jason Allison owned an organization. The Mississauga Reps were for a long time the Ice Dogs. They were owned by Mario, not Chiquillo, the other Mario, Forgione. Zach Hyman, his dad, Stu Hyman, is a wild guy, and he was probably one of the biggest ones. He owns the Toronto Red Wings, and he owned the Toronto Penguins and another organization. Jason Allison owned an organization, so it's not unheard of. The Mississauga Rebels are a community organization, but there was really one owner. So it was like a community board, but there was one guy that was the owner, and that's where they got their name because he was a fan of the UNLV Rebels. So it's not unheard of. It's weird because I don't think I don't think it's necessary they're nonprofits, which I don't think they are. But there's rules around being in the league, so it's not unheard of. But I mean, to get that is the premier AAA program in the world.
That's what I heard this morning. So I listen. Elliot Philman have a podcast every morning. It's called the 31 Top, and I'm always listening this part. And then they have a big news on Twitter about that situation for John Tavares and Sam Gagner. And then as a hockey player, Gagner, he never been, I believe, the player what was expect. I'm not said bad thing about him, or you know what I mean.
Well, depends who expected it, but I mean, I think he is the player you expected. I think. He's a smaller guy with skill, but he's very easily overpowered, and he just works hard.
Yeah, that's what I learned more about the person, the human being behind this. That's what I learned about him. So I was really impressive, and I said I need to talk to Michael about this because you really know the Ontario hockey over there. So I just want to.
Yeah, that is a crazy development. So I'm trying to think. The guy that owned it. Was it Nicoletti? Yeah. So I think it was Mike Nicoletti who has owned it before, because of the Toronto Maple Leaf being on their jersey and the tradition going back of the Marlies being associated with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Every kid wants to be on the Marlies. They always have had, the Stromes played there, right? Like Ryan Strome came through there, Kat Natchy came through there. You can just go down the line. McDavid. And then you see players that leave and go to other organizations, but at some point, like you can kind of see you're seeing guys that'll be in the NHL when they are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So it is an excellent program. I'm wondering if Mike Nicoletti, I mean, he's getting up there. Let's take a look. His name? Jim Nicoletti. I'm sorry. So Jim Nicoletti owned them. Interesting. So I'm trying to find the Tavares and Gagner by. Let's see. Anyways, they've just purchased the premier program in all the world. I mean, there's no other AAA program like it. It's in the best AAA program. Or AAA league in the world. Huge accomplishment for them, and I think it's positive because I think both those guys have a tie to that organization, and they have a history through Oakville. So those players are part of what was kind of known as the Oakville Mafia, because you can have up to 5, I think, imports in those days, and Oakville was considered it's a West End, fairly affluent city. But they were the 5 imports were like all these guys like Tavares, Steve Mason, Sam Gagner. I think Sam might have actually from Milton, but and his dad Dave played in the NHL for a long time, and their connection to youth hockey's been pretty consistently good, and I think it's only positive because they're younger guys, and they're nearing they're more closer to the end of their career than the beginning. So I'm sure that this will give them something to maintain and protect that program.
Yeah, that's great. We talk about this. I think it's glad we can sharing a couple of things about youth hockey travel. So it's good to talk about this. And finally, we have before we talk about the 10 games, I want to mention to you the New Jersey Devils are down to 5 players on the COVID protocol list now. Bastian Kozev, Ishier, and Dmitry Kulikov and Travis Zajac. For the situation with Nico Aishar, he's getting better and better for his injury. Remember, he was hurt on his foot. So he's going to be shut down for the next 2 weeks because that's the situation over there. So one thing I want to mention to you is Travis Konechny is now added on the COVID list 19 for them. So that's another news for the for the Philadelphia Flyers. They are struggled for the last couple of days about that one over there. So, it is what it is over there. Minnesota Wild defenseman Jared Spurgeon Oberbody is skating on his own. So we expect him to be possible to be back this week. And a goaltender, Alex Stalock, did not play no game yet. Is back on the ice full gear now. So maybe we're going to have to see him. And also the same thing for the situation for Zuccarello. He's going to be back Tuesday night for his first game of the year. That's another good news about that situation for them. So I just want to sharing with you a couple of news around the league, and you have so many is going on. So I don't know if you're really ready for the talking about quickly about the 10 game in the NHL. We have something else to add.
Oh, I'm good.
All right. First game of the day is going to start with Arizona again. Again, the St. Louis Blues at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Like you said earlier, that's their 7th time they play each other. Both teams won 3-W. St. Louis looking good. They are 9-4-2. They won the last 2 games again at the Coyotes, and Coyotes all fall back at 500, 6-6-2. UEL is back for the lineup. One player is quiet the last couple of days for the Coyotes is Kessel. Schmalz and you've Torek and Gallen and those kids doing well, but Kessel is very quiet, Michael, for the last couple of days, and Mike Hoffman looking good for the Blues so far, and David Perron.
Yeah, he's doing what he's doing. He scored a big goal the other night to win it for them, and he can. Did they win it because that was the game winner? I think it was.
Yeah. He was an Uti.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. So if you get him in a 2-on-1, he's going to finish it, which is what that was, And then he's going to shoot it. So I think
one thing I want to mention to you, because is your buddy Ryan O'Reilly. The last 5 games, he's on fire. Yeah, 6 points, he scored 3 goals. He didn't have a bad start of this season. He did not produce the point. He was doing well on back checking, defensive side, everything like that. But now he produced point. That's what St. Louis missing that part at the beginning of the year. Now they got this, and I think that's a great plus for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I kind of said this at the beginning. I said I'm not worried about him. He would get it together. It would probably be a little bit of an adjustment as him as captain. He's an intense guy. But I think, once he's settled into it, just played the way he's capable, he's going to be fine. I mean, he'll raise his game where he needs to, and he's got 5 goals now, so he's doing all right.
Second game, 7 o'clock of the day. It's a welcome back. The Buffalo Sabres finally going to play a 1 game. I think they did not play for the last over 10 days in the NHL. They always the New York Islanders. That's their first game of the year between both formation. Islanders won again Boston Bruins Saturday 4-2. They are 6-4-3, and the Buffalo Sabres honestly did not move at 4-4-2 the last send like many weeks ago. Be honest with you, St. Louis Islanders is all about Barzal. Goes still 6 point last 5 game, and I think Varlamov is on fire again. They have 6-2, 1.98, 3 shootout, number 1 in it. And .930, but we have to give him, great credit. And I believe Varlamov is on contract only $5 million, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know how much is left, but I mean, again, this is one of those things where he had injury problems at one point in his career, and now he's been so good for them. I mean, he fits very well. It's a much easier system to play in than maybe other places, and he's just showing. So his cap hit's $5 million. How many years? He's got 2 more years left. So it's this year plus 2 more seasons. So it's a pretty good deal. His base salary is actually $4 million, and next year he gets 6. Then it comes back down to 4.
Good deal.
He's got,
on the Buffalo Sabre, we don't. It's like Colorado yesterday. You're going to hear at the end of the day, a couple of players maybe on the COVID-19. We did not play tonight. So the lineup is really not sure what could happen, but expect a couple of players to be back on the lineup like Dallin and McCabe and those players like this. So one struggle over there for Buffalo since the beginning of the year is Skinner, 1 goal and 10 game. And then I know we don't want to talk too much about them, but at the end of the day, we know what Paul and Eagle does over there, and is it Ren Art over there too? So, but again, I think they need those kind of players to have a chance to win for sure. So it'll be interesting to see them on the ice tonight, to be honest with you. The third game, 7 o'clock. Ottawa Senator visit the Toronto Maple Leaf. They will be like this for the next 3 games for both formations. So they have a back-to-back game. Very interesting what Ottawa are going to do against Toronto. But if you remember, at the beginning of the year, they surprised them by winning 5-3, and then they lost the second game. But Ottawa could maybe still one of the 3 games. Toronto cannot lose those games usually if they want to stay in the first place in the North Division. Thornton will be back in the lineup. I don't see many other add player on the roster. We know Nick Robertson is practicing with them, so we're expecting maybe to see him around at some point. Toronto's doing well. Anderson doing great. Riley, he's the quarterback over there. Watching them against Montreal, they slipped 1 game, lost at the third period because it's happened sometimes during the year. Montreal came back strong and they won 2-1. But overall, we cannot complain. If you are a Toronto Leaf, you're happy and you love what you do, what you see so far since the beginning with Tavares, Marner, and Austin Matthews and Nylander.
They're stacked. I mean, in Ottawa, we're going to look out for, how does Matt Murray play? Does Tim Stützle get on the board? Brady Tkachuk is such a dominant, awesome player. So I think that's always exciting to watch. And Dadonov has been playing very well. After I kind of said, I don't know if this guy's going to fit, he suddenly has 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah, 3 goals the last 5 games. So he's good for him.
So he's playing very well.
Yep. 7 o'clock, Columbus play again. Carolina tonight, 7 o'clock. Columbus have a great week last week, 2 wins and 1 loss, and I think shootout. So it's good for them to see them. Carolina's flying 9-3-0. Rimmer's going well over there, carrying the loads during the time. Meshreck,
shocking.
Yeah. Carolina won the first game between both teams, and they lost the second game 3-2. Carolina. First of all, Columbus, I want to mention to you because we like him a lot. The born or the reborn of Roslovic, honestly, is doing well, and we have to talk about the. I think I can qualify him like a little bit like a Martian and Gallagher, and we don't talk enough about him. It's Cam Atkinson. Michael have 8 points the last 5 games, 4 goals, +6. He scored in PK last game. He's a dynamo. He's a machine. We don't talk enough about.
He's very talented. I mean, if you look at his stats over the last 5 years, I mean, this guy's a legit 30 goal in a regular season NHL guy. He's not a big player, but he's very consistent. He can really shoot the puck. He's like 5'8", so he's not a big guy, But you look and he's got 12 points in 16 games. The guy scored over 200 NHL goals now. So he's pretty legit. Last year was a little bit off for him. Like he had 12 goals in 44 games, but even at that, he had 41 the year before, 24 the year before, 35 the year before. This guy can play.
I agree with you about that one over there. On the flip side, for the Carolina, it's funny, we don't hear a lot of the name of Aho and Shevnikov so far this year, but they still have almost like a 1 point per game. But Carolina, my surprise for Carolina, Michael, is Jordan Staal with 12 points and 10 game. He's looking great. And one player is you have a really difficult year for them is Tara Venen. He lost his spot on the first line. He have only 3 points, 1 goal in 9 games. We know he maybe got the COVID.
Yeah, that's what it was. I thought he was hurt, but he just scored the other night.
Yeah, he was his first goal of the year.
Yeah, but he hasn't played very many games, has he? He's played 9 games. So, yeah, I guess he's played a little bit. He's missed 3 games. He'll be fine. I mean, he's typically a playmaker.
And then finally, the last stat I want to talk about this is like Rimmer is 6-1-0, right? But check this. Goal against, 3.11, save percentage, 8.89. So thank you, my offensive player in front of me, right?
Yeah, he's terrible number-wise, except he gets the win somehow.
Yeah, next game at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow with Craig Minervini. He's going to be our guest tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, is that Panthers visit The Tampa Bay Lightnings, the Tampa Bay owes them. That's their third game back to back to back. They split their first two game, and Florida surprised Tampa Bay 5-2 Thursday and Saturday. Tampa Bay destroy Panthers 6-1.
Bad.
Listen, they play without Cirelli, Stankos, and Kucherov. They
Yeah.
still find a way to win.
Yeah,
That
they're
team
deep.
is unbelievable.
They're pretty crazy.
That's exactly no better word to say that. To be honest with you, both formation now. The Tampa Bay are number one on the goal for with 3.85 goal average per game. Everybody looking great over there. On the flip side, I was impressed by the Florida Panthers last Thursday. I always said they are legit. I think they could find a way to make the playoff, to be honest with you. They've still played at that level.
They're in the mix, man. They're second right now. They got 18 points. They're tied with Carolina for 18 points. They have 8 wins, 2 losses, 2 overtime losses, I guess. But they're ties, right? And then, you look at that division, there's 6 teams that can make the playoffs.
Yep.
And like the one that's struggling, if anything, is Dallas, but they're still 5-3-4.
Yep. Well, yeah, Nashville at the bottom there.
Nashville's junk. I mean, they're just
Detroit over there. So they found a way. And again, I said, Michael, if they can win 2 games on the 8 game again, Lightning, they can find 2 games to win again Carolina, and then they finish over 500 again. The last 4 other team in that division, 5 other team, they will make the playoff.
I mean, right now Dallas has 4 games in hand, but Tampa's, well, not really. Like Dallas has got 12. The only team that has 16, Chicago and Columbus have played 16 games. Everyone else is kind of 12, 13 at the top. Detroit's played 16, and Nashville, we know they're out. Chicago is playing surprisingly well still. Anyways,
we'll talk about this, but yep. The next game, because you talk about them, let's talk about them. 7:30 Eastern Time. The Chicago visit the Detroit tonight. Detroit won the last game 4-2 against Nashville. I think it's 4-2. That's their fourth. And I will say to something about that. I know it's your team. They are not look good 4-10-2, but I can give you one thing. The 10 loss they got, 12 with the OT shootout, is never get destroyed really. Most of the game, they are always, end the game. And, honestly, the only team they struggle is against Chicago. They lost 4-1 and 6-2.
Chicago is way better than them. I mean,
and Chicago have an amazing surprise year so far. They are 7-5-4. Patrick Kane, Michael, the last 5 games, 11 points. The Brinkat has 6 goals the last 5 games. Right. And what about the goaltender? Lankinen have a save percentage of 9.25.
Wow.
That's
Kevin Lankinen is like so good, like shocking. Who is this guy?
That's the 3 players who I just mentioned. They are the reason why they are, that amazing.
They're getting goals from, they're getting points from the young guys. They're getting Walmart Walmart's been a great pickup. Kubalik, P.S. Suter, where'd this guy come from? Or it's not Walmart, Janmark, sorry. But T.S. Janmark, 9 points in 16 games. Dylan Strome getting good offensive production. Kurashev has 4 goals in 15 games. They've got depth.
Well, you have a surprise player, like Kurashev, you did not expect about that one over there. Sutter is another one we didn't expect at the beginning of the year, and then the rookie Baudin scored 2 goals.
I know he's got
over there. One player they're missing right now is the defenseman Bogvis.
Yeah, Adam Bogvis.
Had a good start at the beginning of the year, but unfortunately he's hurt. This missing him, to be honest with you. Yeah. But overall, that's a real surprise. Zadorov play a great year for them also. So it's really interesting about that. I think for Detroit, they're looking not too bad, but they need more for Larkin. They have only 9 points, 16 game. Same thing with Mata. That's the 2 big piece of the puzzle for them. So, but overall, we knew at the beginning of the year, we thought Chicago would be like Detroit, and
I thought so.
Right now, Chicago would be great.
I actually thought Detroit would be better because of the goaltending, but that's definitely not the case.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're seeing, Larkin and Mantha are what they are. Bertuzzi is what he is. The guy that's been really on fire lately for Detroit is Robbie Fabry. So he's come back. He's got 4 goals in 8 games. Nemenstikov is what he is. I like the addition of Mark Stahl. The guy that really hopefully stays healthy and gets opportunity is Zadina. I don't understand why they're not playing Smith. Like, it makes no sense. They're pulling this guy in and out of the lineup, and he's for sure better than other players in that team.
Yeah.
That makes no sense whatsoever. And I think Taro Hirose is better than some of these old guys. Yeah. Bobby Ryan's been good, but he's what he is. He's got 4 goals in 15 games. He had 4 goals in 5 games?
Yeah.
So
talking about Fabry, he scored his 50 goal is during his career in the NHL Saturday.
Then there's a guy that left the Toronto Marlies. I don't think he played the Mississauga Rebels. I don't know if he ever played for the Marlies.
Really?
He's really young. Yeah, well, if you ever want to see the best 14-year-old hockey, and one of the guys 13, it's look for the Mississauga Rebels with Robbie Fabry playing the GTHL Championship and the OHL Cup versus the Toronto Marlies with McDavid, Sam Bennett, and Josh Hosang.
Unbelievable.
And that series was at Herb Carnegie Arena in North York. And it's amazing hockey. If you ever want to understand how good those guys were, and McDavid was 13. Or was he 14? 14. He was 14. Everybody else was 15. It was incredible. And Fabry was phenomenal. Fabry, I think, could miss games because of suspension. And then in the OHL Cup, I think that Mr. actually won the OHL Cup because my buddy Dominic Amodio coached them. And Fabry was like ridiculously good. He was so lights out. Just guts and speed.
Wow. The next game at 8:30, Nashville visited Dallas. Dallas won the two first game between both formations, 7-0 and 3-2. Honestly, talk about another team struggle. I think they are 27 on my power ranking. It's the Nashville Predators, 6-9-0. They won 1 game last week, but again, it was again Detroit. It's a team don't go nowhere. The game struggle. It could be in front of the net, could be a defenseman. Ozzy don't play the level he's supposed to play. And then in the forward, you can go with other players. One, he said your best player the last 5 games is Fabro. That's show to you that team struggle.
They're in trouble. I don't know. They need Johansson obviously back.
Yep.
They need Ekholm back. I don't know. I just think they just need a change there. I don't like the fit of the coach, but maybe they don't care. But I think you're wasting a lot of older guys. Like Philip Forsberg's playing very well.
There's only one really have a great year so far, 7 goals this year.
Yeah, he's very well. But I mean, you expect more from Arvidsson. You expect more from some of the other guys.
Yep. On the flip side, Dallas Star last week 0-1-2, lost 2 games and 3 games, honestly. They got only 2 points. One thing's going well is the rookie Robertson have 5 points the last 5 games, and that's good for him. But they're the team like we expect a little bit more from them. They have a bad stretch, I'll be honest with you, right now. But maybe with again play against Nashville, they are helping them. They're missing really is something. Sen Radulov is out of the lineup. This team don't go nowhere. I don't know why. I don't know what situation, but we talk about Koreanov did not score. Pavelski looking good. Scored his another goal yesterday.
What a goal the other night.
Yep.
But it's like
it's a team we expect a little bit more at the end of the day. The team won the Stanley Cup final, Stanley Cup last year. But again, it's sometimes teams get a little bit better after X game, and I think that's the team should be fine for make the playoff anyway for the Central Division. But the team I think need to be back on the track, and that may be a great opportunity against Nashville this week. They play 2 games versus them for sure. The next game at 9 o'clock, this one I'm going to watch for sure. Is the Winnipeg Jets versus the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers are on fire. Win the 6 of the 7 game. They are now 9-7-0. Everything looking great. And this, Michael, is without the proximity of the McDavid and Dressel. They was quiet the last 3 games. We get a lot for the bottom through a 6, but the offensive or the defensemen. Barry and Nurse are on fire right now for them. They
Yeah,
have a
Nurse is
great
really
week
good.
last week. They have 3-0-0. And the welcome back Mike Smith with a great shutout against Montreal. And Koskinen won, he's not bad the last couple of games. So everything looked great right now for Edmonton.
I mean, listen, first of all, they're very well coached. So I
I
think
agree with you. One of the best top five coach.
I think that they struggled early because they probably didn't have the prep that he's used to. And a big part of their success is going to be how they prepare. And he makes adjustments, and I think the guys trust him. So Dave Tippett is excellent. He's like a sixth man out there.
Yep,
because
I agree.
He's like Barry Trotz, right? And the goaltending of Mike Smith helps. I don't believe it'll be that way forever. In the end, the best thing they could have is both these guys going, and that they give each other a break.
But again, Michael, if you give 3 goals per game, they have a team to win 4-3, 5-3, 6-3. So if that goaltender can be average.
Yep. That's the thing. But it's tough when you got Koskinen starting every game. So that's why I think the biggest thing is getting those guys switching off.
Great point over there. And we
Tyler
know we want
gotta go.
Yeah.
They gotta get points from James Neal and Kyler Yamamoto if they're gonna stay. And I think CP Harvey's been playing well, so I think that's been positive. He's not necessarily a huge offensive producer, but he takes up space and he can skate.
Yep. On the flip side, Winnipeg doing well anyway, and I know they lost the last game against Ottawa, but everybody go slip a game. Before that, they was 8-4-1. Now they're 8-5-1. Everything looked good over there in Winnipeg. And one player I want to particularly talk about, and you can add more, is Nikolai Heller. Have 9 goals this year. We talk always about Sheffield, Wheeler, and Hellebuck, but the one player this year have a great start is Heller for the Winnipeg Jets.
He is their William Nylander. So he's gonna produce points. He's highly skilled and creative. He doesn't always have great puck management, and his defense sometimes leaves a little bit to desired. So I think he drives coaches nuts a little bit because they see a player with so much potential. He had 58 points in 71 games last year. He's a capable 25, 30 goal player, and I think we're seeing that again. I think, he might have bumped up a little bit. I think a shortened season actually helps him. So a good start for him. Kyle Connor's been a little bit off, but I think he'll be fine. I mean, if off is getting 7 goals in 14 games, but he hasn't scored in a little bit, so I think he'll look for him to get back on the board pretty soon.
Good comments there. The next game is between, you have 2 more to go. Calgary Flame and Vancouver Canucks. 2 teams, Michael, they are not the level they're supposed to play. But again, they play a hard division. But I think it's 2 teams with no consistency, back to back to back. Calgary disappointment at 7-6-1 and Vancouver 7-11. It was good to hear from the owners of Canucks. They have confidence. They trust the Benning and Gray. No chance, at least until the end of the season. That's good news. And Calgary, with the great year of Johnny Goodrow, the last couple of games, all about Benny and Max Strom give them a chance to win every night. But I don't know. It's something missing over there. Maybe you have something.
It's weird because that whole North division is very strange, right? That's the Canadian division. So they probably have more travel than any other division, don't they?
Not really. No, I don't. I'm not sure. I think
Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver, and Edmonton, and then you got Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. So maybe not, but
I think the question at that point was more because Minnesota and Dallas, Minnesota play in the West Division, right?
Right.
And they have one team have to go back and forth a lot in California.
That kind of that's to California's a pain. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Calgary. I'm trying to think of what I expect out of Calgary. Monahan's got to be more productive, probably. Backlund, I think you said was going to miss, but Lindholm has been excellent for them. But in the end, he only has 4 goals. So Kachuk's been fine, but not killing it. He's got 10 points in 14 games, but he's a pain. We know what he can do. I don't know. Is their defense good enough? I'm not sure. Sometimes, Giordano's not getting any younger. I like Rasmus Anderson Tanev's been very good, and Hannafin's good, but I don't know if they're like lights out. I think that there's probably a little bit more help they need offensively from the back end.
It's just like they have no chance to get a 3-4 win straight. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like
No,
they
totally.
win, they lose, they win two, they lose, and that's why they are 7-6. That's my word about they are not consistency. On the flip side, Vancouver have a difficult year on many ways. The D is, I love when used, but he have a lot to improve on that side,
For
defensive
sure.
side. They have
For
2
sure.
goals, 16 assists. You cannot
Vancouver's
complain
a
about,
mess.
but he struggled. Tyler Myers their D is struggling a lot. A lot of gave away puck
More
again.
than I would have
Montreal,
thought.
Toronto, they was awful, and I think Demko is not bad. Oldby is who he is. At the end of the day, they are 7-11. That's one reason they are. Peterson's getting a little bit better for the last 5 games. Be honest with you, he's finding who he was, but still. And honestly, 7-11, Michael, and that division will be hard for them. They have to play over 600 now to make the
No,
playoff.
I think they're done.
I agree with you. I think that's the end of the end for them, part over there.
It's too hard.
Definitely the last game of the night, it was at 10:30. That's rare. 10:30. That's the second time of the year San Jose play and San Jose. The first two 12 game they was on the road. Tonight they play again at Anaheim. San Jose won the first game 5-4. They lost again them the second game 2-1 again at Anaheim. Anaheim is 6-6-3, and San Jose is 5-7-1. Talk about inconsistency with Calgary and Vancouver. San Jose is another one. Anaheim 6-6-3. It's a 2 team. They can come a great game, and the next game they not. Anaheim beat Vegas 1-0, but it can come tonight and losing 4-2 against San Jose.
Yeah. I mean, San Jose has been very inconsistent. Anaheim, they're 500 team. They got great goaltending, so they can steal anything. I think that's going to be the difference between these teams. John Gibson could just stone them, and Anaheim's going to have a chance to win it. I don't really believe in the San Jose goaltending too much, but
yeah,
defense has got a lot of names on the jerseys, but not really that great. Like Carlson and Vlasic, maybe not. For the amount of ice time and the money they get, like not as good as you would hope, right?
Yep. Finally, we are done with this one. John mentioned to you yesterday, I have a lot of players on the waiver list. Big name like Decasser, Biron from Montreal. So they are all clear. I just got the news right now. All waiver from yesterday, they are clear. Nobody claimed them. By the way, Ottawa announced Ogber is going to starter of.
He played well last game.
Yeah, that was his first game of the year. Was very well.
Well,
Murray is upper body injury, so he's not going to start. Kudobin will go be in front of the net for the Star. And finally, I want to mention to you 2 news here. The Columbus Blue Jacket, healthy scratch. Kriken, what's the last name? I forgot. Hold on. Grigorenko is a healthy scratch, and they bring tonight his first game is the Stefan Matto. We make his season debut on Monday. Matthew was a draft pick, I believe, for New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
Long time ago. He was straight to Montreal, and then Montreal let him go.
Grigorenko can get a one-way flight with Galchenyuk to the KHL. Maybe they can get a 2-for-1 deal.
I think that's another way they can go there for sure. By the way, I want to mention to you, maybe we talk about this to Craig Minervini tomorrow. The captain, Holly Hoikinen, will be the new head coach of the Ugari of the Liga starting May 1st.
He's for who?
Is it Uguri? G-U-K-U-R-I-T in the Liga.
Okay.
So Hoikinen did not want to go nowhere. He refused a lot of job. Holy, I know him a lot. Cool. He didn't want to play OHL or all the American. He was looking only for one thing, go in NHL, and not many team were going to open a door for a guy like him right away. He want some people have to get their lower team before they go high, and he didn't want to do that. So for him to get there, that will maybe open the door for him, and there'll be in the next 2-3 years, because that's he dream about that. You know, he has his own program here in Florida, AAA program, and so it'd be interesting about that one over there. So that's conclude the show for today. I don't know if you want to add something. I know it's late. I apologize to keep you late, honestly. So do you have anything you want to talk about before we?
Nope. Big day tonight. Big night tonight, and lots of games.
Just another news here. Achiari, is it Achiari for the Panthers? Noel Achiari, not on the trip tonight. Her body out 2 weeks to 7 days, and the young goaltender Drager is going to be is in the net tonight for Florida versus Tampa Bay. That's the last two news I can give to you. And finally, I just want to mention to everybody. I know we talk about this a little bit, but Greg Minervini, broadcaster with the Florida Panthers, is going to be our guest tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Can wait to see that. Like you said, hopefully to get more people like him to join us, in the future. And so that'd be great.
Fighting people.
So thanks, everybody. I appreciate for your time. Hopefully you can catch up. And then don't forget to reach my power ranking. Michael, check about this. Leave our comments. I think you will like it. I make an animation about that. That's another thing about this. I think you would like to do what I'm doing with that part over there. So have an amazing, great Monday, everybody. And I look forward to see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Thanks, Pierre.
Have a good one.